Hi, this is STI, and I would like to share why I had the upward bias last week for after I see a apex forming at the previous week. So before I start, what I want to highlight is that the background of a chart is always very important because it has a hidden information of what is going to happen in the possible near future of the price movement. So what I will see here is that because STI has been traveling within a very wide trading range, and then it has built up certain supply that is going on in the market, and demand is not as strong within this trading range. As you can see, that there's no ability to come back up to the high here, and then we keep filling on the highs here, and we have made the up thrust, and after the up thrust we came all the way down. And this big down move here is quite damaging to STI because it has broken the most important 2920 level, which on the weekly chart, let's see on the weekly chart, it has been offering as a resistance and then a slight resistance here, and we broke, then we comes back up before first the support and then the second support, and now we broke that support. So it is quite critical for STI at that level, and after it broke, we see a increase in volume that's pushing STI all the way down to the next critical level, which is 2700 level. So this down move here is really damaging to STI. So after this big down move here, we shouldn't be expecting STI to make a U-turn or a V-shaped recovery all the way back, or even coming halfway to this move here, or sorry, this down move here, halfway to this down move. So we shouldn't have that kind of expectation because this is a very serious down move, and the supply is really strong. Any rally that's coming back into this halfway or this gap here is going to face a lot of selling pressure that's coming into the market. So that is that expectation that we must have in mind based on the background. However, when we see these big downswing in a couple of days, and we're traveling in a significant manner of about 400 points in STI, so it's quite a parabolic move. So usually there will be technical rallies to so-called let the short sellers cover their short positions, and also probably some relief rally for some people who think that there's a bargain in buying and then trying to get into the market. So we saw this kind of rally here, and it's pretty weak with a very low volume, and then we have seen a down move again, and this down move here now has shortened considerably as compared to this down move here, and then we are seeing a building up of volume in the selling pressure here. However, we don't see any significant down move as compared to this big down move here, and in fact this is only probably about a third of the big down move here. So we are now knowing that there might be some buying that's going on in the market, especially on this bar here. Let's expand this chart a little bit. Especially on this bar here, we see buying coming into the market to buy on the increase in volume, and then I mean this volume here is actually higher than the rest after this kind of high volume here, but it's still very high on the increasing manner. So we have seen demand is coming into the market to support, however we don't see demand follow through to the upside on these two bars, and then we start to see selling pressure coming in of these three bars, as we can see that the close are all on the lows, and we are also seeing a sustaining in volume. So there is a selling pressure that's going on these three bars here. Then after that we have a big gap down, and STI wasn't able to really close below the 2720 level. Although we dipped down on the previous week Monday bar, and we dipped even below the 2700 level, but we quickly rallied back up and closed very near to the previous day close. So, and also we are doing it on a increase in volume. So that means that there is a lot of buying that's going on, and this buying is also, this signifies or indicates that the buying here is also genuine here. So that is supportive by this bar. The buying here is supportive by this bar here, so we know that there is buying at this region here. Then we have a follow through to the upside, as we see that the buying going on, and then we have a follow through to the upside. However, the volume is slightly lower, so we are not seeing aggressive in chasing the price up by the buyers. So sellers probably step in on the next day, and we see that there's a very huge gap, the close down, and the serious selling going on, and with an increase in volume. However, if you look at this bar here, it is not taking out the low of this bar here. So, and it's also in increasing volume. So if this is really all selling and there's no buying, we shouldn't be seeing it stopping just above the low of this bar here, the previous bar. We should be seeing a spread widening and then taking out the low of this bar if this is pure selling. So what does that mean? That means that the buying here is still going on, as price coming into the 2720 to 2700 level. Buying is coming in to support STI at this level here. So we know that there's a lot of support going on here, and it will make this area become very crucial in the future if price is going to come to visit this level again. Then we see a gap up on the next bar, and with this gap up there's no ability to close the gap, and we see the close is going on a high, and we're also seeing the close is slightly higher than the close on the Tuesday bar here, and they are doing in some of the sustaining volume around with the slightly lower than the previous two, but they still consider sustaining, and we are not seeing any up move to take out the high of the previous two bars. So that shows that there is still some selling that's going on in the market when STI is going to come up to here. So after this bar, what do you want to see? We want to wait and see if sellers are trying to pursue to the downside or pursue their downside objective in an aggressive manner. So we want to wait for a down bar or a bar that just to tell us that the sellers is aggressive or not aggressive. So on Friday we saw a bar which closed in the mid-range, and this bar is deep below the low of the previous day bar, which means that sellers are able to push price down below the low of the previous day bar, but however it stopped short of the low of this down bar here, and then we close back up above the low of the previous day bar. So that means that there is buying going on, and we are seeing that now the bars are making higher lows. So on this low and this low and this low here, this is rising support, and we are also seeing this bar dipping down below the support, and we close back up above the support of the previous day bar on the low, and we are seeing this done in a low volume. So what does this bar means? This bar, to me, in my judgment, it is a no supply bar, simply because if there is supply that's going on this bar here and this bar here, then supply should be continuing, or if they are aggressive enough, they should be following through on their downward momentum to push price down. However, we are not seeing that happening, and it's coming in on the low volume, so sellers are now backing off. We are knowing that buying coming in also at this level, so we are seeing a close in the mid-range. So these all of this bar, the price action, the reasoning behind it, the logic of it, and also we are seeing a forming of an apex, tightening of the trading ranges. It is telling us that the buying is strong enough to hold the STI above 2700 level, and there is a preparation of moving out of this tight trading range towards the higher objective. Therefore, why I was having an impression that after this apex we are going to have an upward move on the STI, and it did follow through. The reasons being all this supportive element or information that is supporting the judgment that STI is going to move up this week. So that is why when I see this apex, I was saying that there is an upward bias to STI after breaking out of this apex here. However, I was noting that because we have a very serious down move here, and we are now trying to get back above the high here, we are not going to see STI rallying fiercely through the 2900 level, or even going above the 3000 level in the next few bars. It's quite unlikely, because there is tremendous supply that's going on here, and it's also a lot of supply that's coming in if STI is going to rally without any sufficient preparation for it to rally. If we see some instant rallies that's going above the even above the 2950 level, and going towards the 3000 level, I am quite confident that there will be a huge selling pressure or supply that's waiting for STI at the 3000 level, and then we will see STI being knocked back down to the low of the probably the 2900 level, and probably do some consolidation. However, if we do not see that rally coming, but we see some consolidation just below the 2900 level, which I am expecting next week, what STI would do is probably to visit the 2816 level, which is the low of this bar, and there is also the 38% retracement level, and we will probably see STI hovering along here, probably making a dip and then close back up, probably a test of no supply or even absorption that's going on. We would want to see that happen within this range before it's preparing to break out of the 2890 or even the 2900 level and move up higher towards the some of the higher objective, which is probably the 2950. That is what I would expect STI would do in next week to come. However, if we are seeing a break of the low of this up bar here, which is the low of 2802, if we see a break of that 2802 with an increase in volume and closing below it, then I think the upside of STI is probably not going to happen, likely not going to happen, and the possible and odds of it coming to the 2720 or 2700 level for a test is quite high for that price action to come, and probably the odds of it breaking that level is also increasing, because what we are seeing here is that we have a dip below the 2720 level, and then now we are rallying up and we are doing an upthrust on this bar here, upthrust through the 2890 level, and we are not sure that it is probably going to go up or down. Because on this down bar here, on the Friday down bar, we have a reduce in volume. That is some sort of a reducing selling pressure. However, because of the close is quite near the low, although we close off the low, but it's still being pressured down by the sellers to close on the low. So we might want to be careful in taking any long position at this juncture. I think the safer way to take a long position is when STI close back above the 2900 level and probably go doing some consolidation. This is probably the better time to take a long position rather than at this point of time here. And if as I said, if we see a increase in volume on the down bar with closing below the low of this down bar here, then we probably have more downside to come to visit the 2700 or 2720 level next week. So that is my take on STI, and I would like to highlight that background is still very important, because what we have seen here is a very damaging effect to STI, and also a potential change of behavior to the downside on the monthly chart. This is the monthly chart, and this is the down bar here, and what we are seeing that this down bar is actually quite a wide range bar as compared to the range of all the bars here on the up move and also the trading range. So, and it's also breaking the important support, coming down to the 2700 again, and if it broke the 2700 support, then we probably going to see STI move easily down, probably to the objective of say 2000 level. It's probably quite highly likely to happen. So that is on the higher time frame, that we must bear in mind that the higher time frame do have some impact on the price movement. We want to pay attention to that. So as the daily price movement is evolving, and if there's any interesting things, I will update the video with some updates on how price is moving and my anticipation of what is going to happen probably in the next few bars. So stay tuned.